What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and man, do we have an update for you. Wow. This is huge, you guys. This is going to be flipping and changing stimulus. This could be massive. This is your stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, as you guys know, yesterday, I reported to you guys that we had heard that Senator Joe Manchin said that he wasn't necessarily on board with supporting the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. He said that he wanted to, quote, hit the pause button. He had some concerns about inflation, about where things were going to be going with our economy and an economic crisis. Well, you guys, it has exploded. This is all over the media. You can just, I dare you, go ahead and Google search Joe Manchin, you guys. Take a look at some of these articles coming out. Here's one from the Washington Post. Joe Manchin's new threats to destroy Biden's agenda is worse than it seems. And I'm going to be sharing with you why. So you guys, take a look at this one. Stop and look at this. Why I won't support spending a $3.5 trillion amid inflation, debt, and inevitability of the future crisis. Congress needs to take a strategic pause, written yesterday by none other than Senator Joe Manchin. He took out a piece in the Wall Street Journal, you guys, and wrote everything. So I'm going to link this in the description below so you can read it for yourself. But we're going to go through this, and this has sparked outrage across Congress, you guys. Take a look at this. Progressives recoil at Manchin's op-ed. Dems' $3.5 trillion spending plan faces an uphill battle amid party fighting. They are furious. Take a look at this. It's killing people. Leftists lash out at Manchin, calling for, quote, pause on a $3.5 trillion bill. Look at some of these tweets coming out, you guys. AOC, yesterday, Manchin has weekly huddles with Exxon. Wow. Man, calling him out a sellout for lobbyists, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on this one. We hear about corrupt politicians all the time. Let me know your thoughts. Is Senator Joe Manchin motivated by trying to stop inflation and an economic crisis, or does he have other motivations? AOC throwing out the accusations on this one. Look, and is one of the many senators who gives lobbyists their pin to write the so-called bipartisan fossil fuel bills. It's killing people, our people. At least 12 last night, sick of this bipartisan corruption that masquerades as clear-eyed moderation. Wow. Take a look at this one. Representative Pramila Jayapal. Pause on finally delivering childcare, paid leave, education, healthcare, affordable housing, climate action, and dental, vision, and hearing of millions of families across America in response to Senator Joe Manchin saying, hit the pause button. And she says, absolutely not, you guys. Now, this is huge, and here's why. Because as you know, in the Senate, right now, of the 100 seats, 50 are Republican, 50 are Democrat, and in order for them to pass through the process of reconciliation with a majority vote, they literally need every single senator to vote in favor. And Senator Joe Manchin saying that he does not want to participate could destroy the entire thing, you guys. Massive. But take a look at this. Actually, breaking news that just came out. I'm going to be reporting on this in more detail in an upcoming video. Take a look at this. Biden doubles down on a $3.5 trillion plan that Manchin moderate Dems oppose. Not about a short-term stimulus. You guys, President Joe Biden coming out and saying, no, we need more stimulus. But Joe Manchin literally right now is in a power position to derail the entire thing, you guys. So, man, a lot going on. This is huge. This could just change everything for stimulus and infrastructure, you guys. I'm going to dive into the details of his statement so you can see it for yourself and get you caught up on the latest as to what's going on today, September 3rd, 2021. Now, before we dive in, though, if you could do me a quick favor, if you appreciate these updates, keeping you up to date on all this stuff that's rolling out today. It's nuts, you guys. Do me a quick favor, smash the like button. Just helps out with the YouTube algorithm, lets them know you think I'm doing a good job, and in turn, they're going to continue to probably promote my videos. Also, leave your comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, and be sure to share this out if you think it's going to help out other people on social media platforms. Also, this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, come join the Ram fam, the viewing community. I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff so you know what's going on. And if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That's by far the best way to get a hold of me, you guys. If you got any specific questions, I go through all of them. Sometimes it takes me a while, but I will get to your questions and respond. And don't fall for those scammers here on YouTube that take my picture and say, contact me on WhatsApp and send me money. I don't do that, you guys. Contact me on Instagram. But with that being said, let's dive into this Wall Street Journal statement that came out from Senator Joe Manchin himself on the status of stimulus. All right, you guys, so here we go. Link in the description below to this statement that came out from Senator Joe Manchin himself, and it reads, "The nation faces an unprecedented array of challenges and will inevitably encounter additional crises in the future. Yet some in Congress have a strange belief that there is an infinite supply of money to deal with any current or future crises, and that spending trillions upon trillions will have no negative consequence for the future. I disagree. An overheating economy has imposed a costly inflation tax on every middle and working class American. And as you guys know, we have seen the cost of goods and services increase since the pandemic. Now at 28.7 trillion and growing, the nation's debt has reached record levels. Over the past 18 months, we've spent more than $5 trillion responding to the pandemic. Now, Democrat congressional leaders propose to pass the largest single spending bill in history with no regard to rising inflation, crippling debt, or the inevitability of future crises. Ignoring the fiscal consequences of our policy choices will create a disastrous future for the next generations of Americans, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. He's saying it's time to stop the spending. Now, reading on, those who believe such concerns are overstated should ask themselves, what do we do if the pandemic gets worse under the next viral mutation? What do we do if there's a financial crisis like the one that led to the Great Recession? What if we face a terrorist attack or major international conflict? How will America respond to such crises if we needlessly spend trillions of dollars today? Now, instead of rushing to spend trillions on new government programs and additional stimulus funding, Congress should hit a strategic pause on the budget reconciliation legislation. A pause is warranted because it will provide more clarity on the trajectory of the pandemic, and it will allow us to determine whether inflation is transitory or not. Now, while some have suggested this reconciliation legislation must be passed now, I believe that making budgetary decisions under artificial political deadlines never leads to good policy or sound decisions. I have always said, if I can't explain it, I can't vote for it. And I can't explain why my Democratic colleagues are rushing to spend $3.5 trillion. Now, another reason to pause, we must also allow for a complete reporting and analysis of the implications of the multi-trillion-dollar bill, what it will have for the generations and the next. Such a strategic pause will allow every member of Congress to use the transparent committee process to debate what should we fund and what can we simply not afford. I, for one, won't support a $3.5 trillion bill or anywhere near that level of additional spending without greater clarity about why Congress chooses to ignore the serious effects of inflation and debt and is having on the existing government programs. This is even more important now as the Social Security Medicare trustees have sounded the alarm that these life-saving programs will be insolvent and benefits could start being reduced as soon as 2026 for Medicare and by 2033, a year earlier than previously projected for Social Security. Now listen to this, establishing an artificial $3.5 trillion spending number and then reverse engineering the partisan social priorities that should be funded isn't how you make good policy. Now I've heard this argument a lot. A lot of people are saying they just put together a $3.5 trillion budget saying this is the amount that we can use. He's saying no, what we need to do is say what issues do we need to address and fund those, and then it will develop the top number, not working from the top and then just filling in the blanks, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. But he says, undoubtedly, some will argue that bold social policy actions must be taken now. While I share the belief that we should help those who need it the most, we must be honest about the present economic reality. Inflation continues to rise and is bleeding the values of the American wages and income. More than 10.1 million jobs remain open. Our economy, as the Biden administration has correctly pointed out, has reached record levels of quarterly growth. This positive economic reality makes clear that the purpose of the proposed $3.5 trillion in the new spending isn't to solve urgent problems, but to re-envision America's social policies. While my fellow Democrats will disagree, I believe that spending trillions of more dollars not only ignores present economic realities, but makes it certain that America will be fiscally weakened when it faces a future recession or national emergency. Now, in 2017, my Republican friends used the privileged legislative procedure of budget reconciliation to rush through a partisan tax bill that added more than $1 trillion to the national debt and put investors ahead of workers. Then Democrats rightfully criticized the budgetary tactic. Now my Democratic friends want to use this same budgetary tactic to push through sweeping legislation to make historic investments. Respectfully, it was wrong when the Republicans did it, and it is wrong now. Wow. If we want to invest in America, a goal I support, then let's take the time to do it the right way and determine what is absolutely necessary. Now, many in Washington have convinced themselves that we can add trillions of dollars more to our nearly $29 trillion national debt with no repercussions. Now, regardless of political party, elected leaders are sent to Washington to make tough decisions and not simply go along to get along. For those who will dismiss my unwillingness to support the $3.5 trillion bill as political posturing, I hope that they heed to the powerful words of Administrator Mike Mullen, a former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who called debt the biggest threat to national security. His comments echoed the fear and concern that I've heard from many economic experts and I've personally met with. Now, at the time of intense political policy divisions, it would serve us well to remember that members of Congress swear allegiance to this nation and fidelity to its Constitution, not to a political party. By placing a strategic pause on this budgetary proposal, by significantly reducing the size of any possible reconciliation bill to only what America can afford and needs to spend, we can and will build a better and stronger nation for our families. Signed, Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat. He is a U.S. Senator from West Virginia. Wow, you guys, this has shaken up everything. Huge news coming out, and we're going to see if he's going to stand by this, you guys. And he said that he doesn't feel like he needs to get along with anybody, that he's here. He has a commitment to serving America and doing his best that he believes will help us, you guys. Let me know your thoughts, or do you agree that there's maybe some other motives involved, as we saw accusations roll out on Twitter from AOC? Let me know your thoughts, you guys, but this is huge. We will see. Will the stimulus package be paused? Or will it keep rolling along onto that September 27th deadline that was imposed by Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi? You guys, we will see. I will keep you up to date. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys. But huge news coming out, and I will keep you up to date. So thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button. Helps out with the algorithm. Just takes a second. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leave your comments down below. I really want to hear what you think about this one. Share it out. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell. If this is your first time here, you can come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to date. And if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.